future. More ways to extend a helping hand. The financial programs we design with our business partners focus on creating a safety net for devoted employees. We believe secure and happy employees are essential to a successful business.
Hi, I'm Mel, and I am choosy. My ultimate skin goal is gusto kong mag-even out ang skin tone ko.
Hi, my name is Annapareddy. My skin goals are to become whiter, fairer, healthier, and younger.
It really shows na yung skin ko ngayon mas moisturized, mas glowing, and mas healthy.
Thanks to Glutasine, I got my skin tone back. Thank you so much, Glutasine.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
What's the secret to beauty's beauty?
Langis.
Ito ba lahat ang gamit mo?
Ay, hindi. Isa lang ang gamit ko for all. Moringa O2 Therapy Oil. Hindi lang malunggay. Meron ding olive oil and omega from sunflower oil.
This therapy oil helps relieve my dry and irritated skin.
It helps lighten my scars and stretch marks.
It helps make my hair young and healthy.
This is our beauty secret.
Sana all!
Oil.
Nandito ako nung nagpa-practice magbike ng anak ko.
Nandito ako nung nag-birthday si Mommy.
Dito ako nag-celebrate ng wedding anniversary namin.
Distance will always be a problem. So choose a home that makes life more fulfilling by bringing you closer to everything that matters the most. Arezzo Place Pasig. Live fulfilled.
Finma Properties, making room to build your future.
It's nice easing back into old routines. Only now with extra care. Let's do it for ourselves, for our loved ones, for everyone's safety.
Hurry up, let's go. Let's go.
And staying safe starts at home. From how we work and learn, to the little ways we find joy. If you must head out, take extra care. Making a small effort, being mindful, they go a long way to keeping us all safe. The health of all depends on each one of us. So let's work together using new tools and keeping to our new habits to protect the people we love. At work, let's all be good team players.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
A little distance between us today will be good for us all tomorrow. A little care can protect the one thing that means the world to us. So let's do our part.
The views and opinions expressed by the speaker, host, commentator, or other third party in Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass are those of the speaker, host, commentator, or third party and do not necessarily reflect and represent the views and opinions of Ariva. Furthermore, Ariva does not warrant, express, or imply the merchantability and fitness for a particular purpose of any product information, service, or process presented by the speaker, host, commentator, or third party, and Ariva specifically disclaims any legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or usefulness of any product information, service, or process presented. Finally, material or information presentation, opinion, process, or service by on any trade name, trademark, manufacturer, or otherwise during Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass do not constitute or imply Ariva's endorsement or recommendation of such opinion, process, service, item, or organization.
Good morning,
once again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our Zoom participants, and good morning as well to our viewers in FB Live and YouTube. So welcome to another virtual learning session powered by Ariva Academy. My name is Irish Malonda Samson at your service, together with Mr. Howell Mabalot as our moderator. Good morning, Sir Howell.
Good morning, Madam President. It's nice to see you again wearing your hair down. I like it that way, J-Lo.
Thank you, thank you. Great to see you again as well, Sir Howell.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, our topic this morning is Business Rescue Project Opportunity to Reinvent Part 2, Sir Howell. Yes. Part 2, guidepost for the now of work. Opportunity to reinvent your people, relationships, leadership style, right people, and right seats, of course. And now before we introduce our speaker and we do the house rules, I'd like first to greet our out-of-the-country viewers. And they are watching right now from Bengaluru, India, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Petaling Jaya, Malaysia, and Singapore. Thank you for being with us this morning. And of course, in order for us to have a smooth flow of our e-learning session, here are the following house rules. So you know the drill, guys. For Zoom participants, please type in hi in the chat box now. If this is your first time attending, viewing, joining Ariva webinars, please type in hi in the chat box now, everyone. Okay, let's check. Hi as well to Earl and Lisa. They're watching at our FB Live. Okay, hi Ms. Mitos. Good morning po. Maria Lourdes Angeles and Claudine. Okay. For those of you who are there, since this is the part 2 of our session, please type hello and let us know where you're watching right now. Good morning, Ms. Grace. Good morning. I hope all is well and safe and COVID-free. Good morning, everyone. Okay, Jovial Alice Yung. Okay. Antonio Alvarado, Sir Antonio Alvarado, hello again. Okay, let's do an audio check. Please use the following codes. Please type in 111 to show if you can hear me loud and clear and I am audible. Okay, thank you, Patricia, Grace, Shawana, Mitos, thank you, 111. Dax, okay. 222 means you cannot hear me or no sound at all. 2121 means the sound is breaking up or there's a lag and question mark if you don't understand anything. Please use the following codes throughout the presentation so we will be notified if you will be able to hear us loud and clear. Okay, moving on. We will be having a quick break later after the presentation of our speaker and before we move on to our Q&A portion. Participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by the administrator during discussion to avoid interruptions. For questions and clarifications during the provided time after each topic, please click the raise hand button for the administrator to enable the microphone for live questions. Questions will be entertained after each topic of the session. Type in your questions at the Q&A box. Again, at the Q&A box, not in the chat box. One question at a time will be entertained. For comments and feedback, please scan this QR code. This will be directed to our feedback form. Please send us your comments, suggestions, and suggested topics to discuss in order for us to improve our future virtual learning sessions. And now, let me know if you guys are ready. Please type in Ariva in the chat box now. Okay, type in Ariva in the chat box. Let me know if you're ready. Okay, thank you, Ms. Mitos, Phoebe, Sir Antonio, Karen, Patricia, thank you so much. Sir Howell, please do the honors in introducing our speaker this morning.
Thank you, Miss Irish Malonda Samson, our beautiful and smart and hardworking president, for the opportunity to introduce for the second time. This is the part 2 of the three-part series, right? Speaker of the day, none other than this person who was born in India. First name is Vishnu. He completed his college and traveled to Australia to finish his IT degree. And as a 20-year-old, Vishnu began his career in door-to-door selling and started his first business at the age of 22 in Canberra, Australia. As a young and ambitious business owner, he expanded his business to Malaysia and then to the Philippines. And currently, Vishnu is a senior partner and works as a senior partner with 25 business owners in his organization with 500 plus sales force. And this year, August, he's expanding his business to India, none other than our dear friend, Coach Vishnu Annapareddy.
Okay.
Welcome
Mr.
back,
Howard.
sir.
Good morning. How are you?
We're great. How about you, Sir Vishnu, back there in, are you broadcasting from Australia now? Or
No,
Malaysia?
I'm broadcasting from Malaysia.
From Malaysia. So how is everything in Malaysia? Still COVID-free. Good for you.
Yes, COVID-free. The cases are staggeringly low compared to most of the countries in Southeast Asia. So yes.
And we're excited for the part 2 because we're now given the opportunity to reinvent not only the organization, but the people.
Absolutely. I'm excited to share this. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second. So so I'm absolutely excited to talk about this, which is reinventing your people. And we spoke about reinventing ourselves, which is as leaders in last week, Tuesday on 4th of August. And so Howell, even though we haven't spoken for a week, but I think I have been very close to you because I have been following you on Facebook.
I'm sorry for bombarding your news feed with my uploads.
No, that's good. It's just good to know what your the people that you care for, the people that you constantly interact with. It's good to see what they are doing and things like that. So I feel connected virtually with you and with the team of Ariva. So it's always good to see. And again, I would like to welcome on behalf of Ariva and myself personally to all the participants for part 2 of reinvention. And in this today we will be speaking about reinventing your people, and I appreciate everyone taking some of their time to come on to this talk. So I'm really excited.
Yes, you're excited as well, Sir Vishnu.
Yes.
So take it away.
So here we go. So today we're going to be mainly focusing on 2 things. One is the Stockdale paradox. I think this is very critical considering, especially for people, whether you are COVID-free or you're not COVID-free. The way I see it is COVID-19 is always temporary, but the changes it brings are permanent. Yeah. So the Stockdale paradox, I think, is something, whether you're in a country like India or Philippines, where you're experiencing the COVID-19, or whether you're in a country like Singapore or Malaysia, who went ahead, bent the curve, and are mostly COVID-free countries, I think all of us can relate to the Stockdale paradox, which I want to spend quite a bit of time today. And again, reinventing your people starts with you as leaders, right? Because our people always look up to leaders, for direction, advice, and for growth. So the 5 C's for leading in a crisis, especially a crisis like COVID-19 or whatever the crisis in future, so that we can, as leaders, can help to reinvent the people who are working with us. So we'll talk about the 5 C's of leadership that will help us to lead and that will also help us to reinvent our people, especially during times like this. Today, we want to spend a bit more time on Q&A. I want to make today a bit more interactive. During my topics, during my talk, I will have some questions. So get ready, make sure you're paying attention. And if you have any questions, please feel free to take it down. And when we have Q&A, please make sure you're asking your questions. And I'm more than happy to share some of my feedback on the questions. So let's start for an exciting part 2 of reinventing your people that you're currently working with. Stockdale paradox, I have never heard of this until March this year. The more I started reading about it, I got very intrigued into it. I did a bit more research on it, and there's lots of things written about Stockdale paradox online. So please go ahead. I'm not going to teach, or I'm not going to share everything about it, but I'm going to share to this context of reinventing your people, how the Stockdale paradox applies. So the story, and this is a true story, it's in the setting of 1965 during American invasion on Vietnam. Okay, so that's the setting of the story. And this paradox is named after Admiral General Jim Stockdale. So this paradox is named after him because it's his story, his experience that has eventually been brought up as the Stockdale paradox. So Mr. Jim Stockdale was the highest ranking US military officer at that time. He was the highest ranking US military officer, and he was prisoner of war during the height of Vietnam War. So he was the prisoner of war during the height of Vietnam War. He was a prisoner from 1965 until 1973. So he was a prisoner of war for 8 years. He was a prisoner, he was tortured, he went through some brutal experiences, and finally he was sent back to US after 8 years, where then he started doing his sharing. He wrote a book with his wife called Love and War. I got a chance to read a glimpse of that book, and I'm going to warn you, if you want to read that book, and if you're someone who loves reading books on true stories and history, true events in history, this book is very depressing. Super depressing. Just reading it was painful for me. I went through like 4 chapters and it was painful. If reading was so painful, I just could imagine Admiral General Jim Stockdale, his own experiencing what I was reading. And it was really tough. And the context of this was a very famous author. His name is Jim Collins. He wrote great books like Built to Last. One of my favorite books. He wrote Good to Great. And he's really good. He wanted to do an interview with Jim Stockdale. He wanted to do an interview, and he got in touch with Jim's, and they went for a walk, and he was asking how was the experience as a prisoner in Vietnam during Vietnam War, because I read your book and it sounds very painful. And Jim went on to explain it was definitely painful. It was harsh. It was torture. No human rights whatsoever. And Jim asked. Jim Collins asked Jim Stockdale, "How did you survive? How did you survive a torture like that?" Because I can just imagine it was really tough. And Stockdale thought for a few minutes, and he explained like this: "The reason I survived was because I never lost faith in the end of the story." In his mind, in Admiral Jim Stockdale's mind, he always had faith that he is coming back to US. He had faith that he will return to US. He had faith that whatever the experiences he went through during the prison, he would use that to teach the American soldiers once he came back. He never lost faith in the end of the story. He said, "I know what the story is going to be like at the end, and the end of the story I will dictate, and the story is going to be I'm going to go back to US. People will treat me like a hero, and I'm going to share all my experiences about torture and how to overcome torture to the future American soldiers. And I have faith in the end story. That's how I survived. Then the author, Jim Collins, asks him, who are the people who did not make it? And that was his question. So you made it. You made it, Admiral Stockdale. You made it because you never lost faith in the end of the story. Who are the people who did not make it? And when I read the answer, I was surprised. I was really surprised. And the next reaction was, I was actually shocked. Because the people who did not make it are like me and are like some of us on this call. The people who did not make it are the optimists. I was always trained to be an optimist. And I was shocked when I heard the answer from Admiral Stockdale that the people who did not make it and lost their lives are the optimists. And when you further read, and he explains, this is very controversial what I'm sharing with you, but the people who did not make the torture camp and did not come back to US are the optimists. So who are the optimists? Optimists are those people who said they will go back to US this Christmas. They said always in the torture camp, when all the prisoners got together, the optimists are the ones who said, guys, don't worry. This is temporary. We're going to go back this Christmas to US. Christmas came, Christmas went. The optimists then said, guys, don't worry. We will go back this Easter back to US. Easter came, Easter went. Then the optimist said, don't worry. We will go back this Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving came and Thanksgiving went. And then they got back together, the optimists, and said, don't worry, we will go back this Christmas. And Christmas came and Christmas went. The optimists died not because of torture. The optimists died because of broken heart. That's what Admiral Stockdale explained to the author. The optimists died not because of torture, but because of their own expectations. And when their expectations were constantly not met, they died of broken hearts. And the more I read that, and the more I started thinking back to COVID-19, this is what I think we should take the lessons from the Stockdale paradox. We got to retain faith that we will, as a community, as a country, and as a global world, prevail in the end, regardless of difficulties. We need to have the faith in the end story. The end story would be, I'm going to share my experiences to my children, to the future team members who are going to be coming on, how I overcome the difficulties during this pandemic period. So while we are retaining faith that we will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties, at the same time, we need to confront the most brutal facts of our current reality whatever they might be. Let's not run away from brutal facts. If you're not doing well post-COVID, the brutal fact is when we were doing well, we were complacent. We never left our comfort zone. Why are we now trying to scrape through alternatives when we are in this desperate situation? While we were very comfortable, while we had the money, we had the time, we never thought of alternatives. We have to confront the brutal facts. We can't ignore the facts anymore. Admiral Stockdale said to the fellow prisoners that the end of the story is we will go back to US. I don't know that it will be this Christmas. So get over it, but we will go back one day. So as leaders, when we are talking to our people, don't give the false hope. Don't worry, don't worry. In next 3 months, it's all going to be okay. We don't know that. You don't know that. No one knows that. What we know is the end of the story is we will prevail at the end, regardless of what we're going to go through for a period of time. I just don't know by when. All I know is we will prevail, we will thrive, we will succeed, we will scale. Is it this quarter? Is it end of this year? Is it next year? No one knows, because we are in the middle of this in most of the countries. So don't give false expectations to your people. Don't set them up for disappointments. Give them confidence that we will prevail. Give your faith to them, but do not promise timelines, because in reality, no one knows the timelines. So retain faith that you will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties. At the same time, confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. What are your facts? What are your brutal facts about your reality? And whatever they might be, confront them, write them down, and start working on them. The question for the leaders on this call, that can be on Facebook or Zoom or whatever the medium that you're watching, I want you to put it up in the message. What are 1 or 2 brutal facts that you're confronting, or for the fact you're trying to avoid for quite a period of time? Let's put it up in the messages. Let's put it up in the chat group, because I'm just curious. What are some of the most brutal facts that you're confronting or you want to confront moving forward so that you can prevail at the end? Yep.
Patricia says retrenchment of long-time employees who love our company.
And that's a brutal fact. It is a brutal fact. It's tough. It's really tough.
It is.
I had to go through this myself in Philippines, in Malaysia, retrenching people. And it's a fact that I need to confront. Should I save a person? Should I save a company? And sometimes letting some of the people go lawfully is better, while we can save still jobs for hundreds and hundreds of people. Thank you, Patricia, for being very open.
Teresa says that we will not meet even 30% of our sales target.
Thank you, Teresa. That is a brutal fact. Let's talk about these facts with our team. If I was you, Teresa, I'll sit down with my team and say, this is a brutal fact. What should we do about this? Instead of hiding it, instead of just putting it in memos and things like that.
Mariana Ostawani, sustainability of the business. and Jenny Rose, closing a business.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Mariana. I understand it's a brutal fact. And I'm glad that you're confronting it. Because when you confront it, you're aiming to learn from it. Thank you very much.
Raymond also says prioritizing health versus economic reality.
Absolutely, Raymond. And that's a brutal fact. We have ignored it all this while. As I said on my last call, it was not on my priority. It was not on my top 3. I took it for granted. And not only me, a lot of people like me took it for granted. That's why every second person that I know has started exercising and has started looking back at their health as one of their top 3 priorities. Yes, correct. Any more, Mr. Howell, from Facebook?
That's about it, Coach Vishnu, for now.
Got it. So I hope all of you can relate to this, the Stockdale paradox. Please retain your faith. We will prevail at the end. We have seen many difficulties. This is a new difficulty, and we will succeed as a human race. We will find the vaccine. We'll find the cure. We will succeed. Yeah. At the same time, confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they might be, and make the necessary adjustments, make the necessary moves that will help you to bounce forward, moving forward. Okay, so that's the Stockdale paradox that I just wanted to share because it's very apt as we are talking about reinventing our people, because one of the things we want to give our people is faith, but we also want to talk about the brutal facts. It can be about them. It can be about the current reality about the business. It can be about the leadership. It can be about whatever we are talking about, but we are confronting the brutal facts of the current reality, whatever they might be. Okay, so that's the Stockdale paradox. I just wanted to share with you guys the 5 C's for leading in a crisis like this, which I believe will really help in reinventing your people. The first one is communicate daily. This is the critical thing. You have, if you're the leader of a team, you have to communicate daily, especially during crises like this, because when you want to reinvent your people, it's not one motivational message, it's not one motivational or inspirational talk. It's consistent communication with your people. You got to communicate daily. Now the question is, how do you communicate daily? What do you communicate daily? First and foremost, one, stick to the facts. When you're communicating with people, do not sugarcoat. The more you sugarcoat, and I had to learn this from my experience because I'm the most positive guy, once you start sugarcoating to your people and communicate daily, they stop trusting your communication. Example, I give you an example. You communicate with your team. Guys, don't worry. We are working on reinvention of our business. We are improving. We are making the necessary positive changes. The changes are really good. We are slowly start seeing the results. Our clients are happy. Our sales are picking up. We can see the turnaround. In next 2 months, we are very confident that we'll be back to 70% of our normal production, etc. That's your daily message to your people. And they come to know on Friday that you have retrenched 12 people. They're like, but Vishnu has been saying, we are turning around, we are doing this. Much rather as leaders, we stick to the facts and say, guys, it's not turning as fast as we want it to. We got to be making some tough decisions even if we don't like it, because we want the business to survive. We want to be there for our people. This is really important. as you're communicating this message, that can be virtually in cases like this, through Zoom, switch on your video. When you're communicating with your people, please switch on your video. Don't hide behind the camera, shut down. Come in front, show yourself up. And I have noticed this with some of the business owners that I work with. And they always want to do it like a sandwich principle. I don't blame them. I taught them the sandwich principle. The sandwich principle is bread, meat, bread. So bread, guys, how is everyone? I hope you guys are okay. We are doing good. Clients are, getting the confidence back, and we are improving. We are looking at the next 3 months to bounce back, and the recruitment is improving, and the sales are upward trend. The cash flow is positive. Okay, so bread finish, huh? Now the meat. But I have some bad news to share with you. We lost one of our clients, and that's not positive, and that might affect our growth by 40% because they're our biggest clients. Then the bread again, the second bread of the sandwich. But don't worry, the future is that communication is during normal times, not during crisis. The last thing that you want to do with your team is lose their trust. No one, I'm sorry to use this language, no one likes to eat a shit sandwich. The facts first. If it's bad news first. Get it out of the way. People trust you. People see that you're open. People are not waiting for what he's going to say next, what he's going to say next. Guys, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's weekend was great. Just want to share with you today, we lost one of our biggest clients. It's really, really tragic. It's going to impact us by 40%. It's going to impact our sales performance. It's going to impact revenue, cash flow. It's going to impact growth. I just want to share that with you guys. It's not the positive news, but I just wanted to share that with you because it's a fact. I treat you like my business partners, and I want to share that with you guys. Okay, now here's what the alternative plans that we have. We have went back to our existing clients and asked for a 10% increase in their budget so that we can make it up for that. Some of the clients said yes, some of the clients have not responded. So and so will be communicating better. That's how you win trust. Stick to the facts, no sugarcoating. And speed of communication also matters during this crisis. I'll give you one example. So how we are dealing with this communication, how I'm dealing with this communication. Currently in India, we have, so as of Sunday, we are doing on an average 62,000 cases per day. 62,000 positive cases per day. My staff is terrified, and this is how I communicate with them every day. Every day at 11 a.m., we have a call. My general manager, my sales team, myself, and my operations manager from Malaysia, we all get on a call every day at 11 a.m. Sometimes we have nothing to talk about business. But that daily communication is important. So I'm speaking to my general manager. Example, 4 days ago, we did not have any updates. It's daily thing, right? We don't have any updates. Hi guys, good morning. How is everyone? Okay. So how are the cases in India? Okay. Neeraj, you're okay. Guys, Swati, are you okay? And my general manager said, Vish, just want to share with you an interesting thing. In my condo, one of the families tested positive for COVID-19. And I was like, what happened there? So how are you guys? That's how you stay together. Sometimes my team members are telling me, Vishnu, there are no updates. Shall we cancel the daily call? No. More often than not, you will not have a daily update. But during crisis, daily communication is key. I'll give you one more thing. Yesterday, and this is an example for speed of communication, and this is an example for stick to the facts, don't sugarcoat. Yesterday afternoon, I got a brutal email. I can't, because of the confidentiality, I can't mention the client's name. Brutal, absolutely brutal email. Got the email, stop this, we don't want you guys to do this. This got to stop, that's it. Like empathy, sympathy, like none of that, like straight away. And I said, okay, we will respond to it. But then I forwarded that email to all the key people on my team. And I said to them, we will talk about this. In that way, I'm showing, one is we are being transparent. We are fighting this battle. We are fighting this challenge. And I can have some help. That's why I'm sharing this with the key people. And we'll talk about this. No need to sugarcoat it. Don't worry, guys. We will work with the client. Don't worry, guys. Remember the Stockdale paradox? Don't sugarcoat it. Don't give false expectations. Throw the problem as it is, but have the faith that you will prevail at the end. Another tip for leaders who are especially managing teams, and this is mainly for Philippines and for India, because you guys are right in the middle of this pandemic now with lockdowns and etc., etc. Make your daily communication short, keep it short, but if possible, make it twice a day. Maybe let's say your daily communication call is, let's say, 30 minutes. Try to make it 15 minutes in the morning when everyone comes to work virtually, and 15 minutes in the evening before everyone closes their work. Make it short and have it, double it, make it twice a day. Because there is something magical for the team when they hear the leader's voice. It gives them, it assures trust. The company, the people in the company are speaking to me. There's a constant communication. It's not just through WhatsApp. There is a call. I'm speaking to my manager. I'm speaking to my leader. And it gives them that, it gives them that, It gives them that assurance that they are not alone and they are looked after. So those are some of my tips on daily communication. I would like to ask our participants, are you communicating daily with your team? And if you are, what sort of communication is it? Is it video? Is it voice? Or is it message, words? Just put it up in the chat. I'm just curious to know what is or how is your daily communication with your team?
Thank you, Sir Vishnu, for our participants here via FB Live and Zoom Room. Please type in your answer. Grace Mondia says Zoom and Messenger. Pasita says call, text, and Messenger. Sharon says Viber and Zoom.
Excellent. Excellent. So use as many mediums as possible, yeah?
And group chat in Messenger, Zoom, according to RV. Maria Lourdes, Viber, call, text, and Claudine, videos, messages, SMS calls. And Rowena, daily messenger, weekly Zoom. And Lynn, MS Teams and Viber. Australia, group chat via Skype and then call. And Femi or Phoebe, group chats. And Chona, group chats. Jefferson, MS Teams. Patricia, Zoom, Google Meet, weekly update, prayer, devotion, and meetings.
Great. Great. So you guys are already doing it. Now the question is, are you doing it sticking to the facts? Are you sugarcoating or being brutally honest and talking about the brutal facts? And how speed is your, is your communication, and how often is your communication? This is something that I do with my team. I call it as a daily power talk. I have teams currently as we speak, I have teams in 3 countries, 11 cities.
Wow.
Sometimes it's a bit almost impossible to try to reach everyone. So what I do is every day in the morning, my general routine is I wake up anytime between 5 to 5:30, and I use the app called Canva, Canva. So there is a paid version to it and there's a free version to it. You can use both. They're great. And I use that app to create a daily poster. Yeah? So it can be an image I create with a message on it. Okay? And I send that to the people that I'm developing, I'm working with, I work with closely. I send that message. Then I use my phone to do a recording of that message. I do a recording of that message. And then I attach that recording onto the WhatsApp that I send along with the picture. So there is a visual, there is audio, people relate to it differently. Yeah. And then I send it to the team. Even though I'm not able to be with them every day, but my voice, my message is with them every single day. So I'll just share with you quickly through this screen.
We love the daily power talk idea, Sir Vishnu.
Yeah. So it's up there. So it's every day there's a message that goes on. So for example, and that's how it goes on the WhatsApp.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Power Talks. So today's Power Talk. Losers have goals. Winners have goals, plans, and systems. It's interesting, right? Every time we ask people what helps you to become successful.
As an example.
Wow.
And if you can devise something like that, I don't know how impactful it is to my people, but when they send this to me and they are like, Vish, this really helped me on the field today. This really helped me because I was working from home and I was a bit lost and etc., etc. It really, really helps getting your message across. So this is part of my motivation. This is part of my inspiration. But at the same time, my daily calls, this is extra. My daily calls are confronting the brutal facts. My daily calls are about being honest, no sugarcoating, and getting everyone's response to it and just getting everyone to know how I'm feeling, how they are feeling, etc., etc. So daily communication really helps in reinventing your people. It's not one communication, it's not one message, it's ongoing messages, consistency, which helps people to reinvent. And that's one of the ways of reinventing your people. The second one is community. However you define community, for some people, community is their team. For some people, community extends to their team and their family members. Community extends to their existing family and the people in their barangay. Whichever it is, you define the parameters of your community. When you're helping the people in your community to reinvent themselves, give. No expectation in return. And most of the times people think, Vish, give. Is it money, monetary, materialistic things? And yes, sometimes money. Yes, sometimes materialistic things. But more often than not, the people in your community, I can imagine, need time. I want to ask the participants to put it up in their chat group, message, what does your community expect? Your community, the community, whatever you define as your community, what do they expect you to give them? Put it up in the chat room. I'm just very curious to know this. What do they expect you to give? Sorry.
Yes. Sorry, sir. Yes. So to our participants here in the Zoom room and to our viewers via FB Live, please type in your answer. And our topic now is the C2, which is community. Swathi says, being responsible.
Okay.
Maybe there's, okay, now, Patricia, buying from small online businesses?
Yes. Which is good, right, Patricia? That's what your community wants you to give back to the small businesses who are trying to, who are struggling to survive, etc., etc. And in most of the times, when I ask my team, the answer that comes back is time.
Time.
Sharing accurate and timely information. Okay.
That's from Claudine.
Yeah.
And Joanne, positive results to the company.
Absolutely. So when you're trying to reinvent your people, give them what they want, not what you think they want. Give them what they want, not what you think they want. And during crisis like this, don't expect anything in return. This is really, really critical. Manage your expectations. Sometimes the message that you give, the time that you give, people might quickly respond back and say, hey, thank you for that. I'm going to use this. But sometimes people are dealing with their own challenges. Staying safe, staying healthy. People are dealing with their own challenges. So don't expect them to come back to you or implement what you share with them straight away. Be a brand ambassador of positivity. And this is something where everyone is talking about how bad it is, how people are being retrenched, how many people are losing jobs and stuff. I want to be a brand ambassador of positivity. And the way I'm doing it with in my own capacity is obviously I started a campaign called Road to Recovery 2020. We will recover, we will survive, we will thrive, we will scale. We just need to figure out how to do it. We need to confront the brutal facts. So doing talks with Ariva like this can help, even can change, can help 10 businesses, 50 people. And that brings immense positive news to me. And I have lots of happiness as a result of doing these campaigns. I write lots of articles on my Facebook. I put lots of posters on my Instagram page because on an average, 80 to 100 people read my articles. Even if it can impact one person, then I feel I have done my part. Serve your community. Look after your community. Because community is nothing but your people, whatever you define your community. And by serving them without expecting anything in return, you are making a huge impact in reinventing the people in your community. This is an interesting thing. You want to reinvent your people, clean up and catch up. So clean up is both physical and mental. One of the things I have done when we went through this pandemic during March, April, May, is I did a spring clean of my office. Me and my wife, we did a spring clean of our house. We always had the excuse like, oh, we're busy, we have that, we have no time for this and stuff. And what I realized when I cleaned my office, it created a lot of space physically, and it also created a lot of mental space to me in my head. And because I had a lot of mental space, I actually could accommodate more people on my team to discuss their challenges, to provide solutions. While last time I used to say, oh, sorry, I don't have time. Can you rebook your appointment next month? I'm busy with many things and stuff. So spring cleaning helps. Maybe because of the reflection that you went through during this pandemic, there are things which are probably you thought that are important and your top priority maybe are not any more top priorities for you. You thought that was really important, etc., because you have cleaned it up. Maybe it's not. And because it has created space, and when I say physically, so mentally the space, but physically the space translates to time, it really helps you to invest the time back onto your people. I'll give you one example. I always thought I need to catch up with my team face to face. I always thought it is important, it is really important to catch up with people, with my team face to face. And this pandemic changed everything. I agree even till date that face to face catch up meetups are some of the best forms of communication. But the speed in which you can do face-to-face might not be as fast as you intend for them to happen. But here's the thing. Because I could not catch up with anyone face-to-face during this pandemic, and especially with my Philippines team and India team, I have not traveled for the last 3 months, 4 months. I'm catching up with them virtually, remotely through Zoom, through calls, WhatsApp, etc. And then I realized that even when I do it through Zoom, they're still impactful, they're still effective. Maybe not as effective as face-to-face. But here's the beauty. Because I have more time now, because I have cleaned up some of my priorities, I'm able to do 3 times virtual catch-ups with some of my team members. While last time I used to do once a month, it's now 3 times a month. And because I'm doing 3 times a month, whatever I lose the face-to-face touch, I'm able to make it up by doing these catch-ups more frequently virtually. So when you clean up your priorities, your physical space, you create space and you create time, and you use that time back to reinvent your people. It takes 2 hands to reinvent people. It takes 2 hands to clap. One is the person, the other is the leader. And if you can do your bit, and if your team can do their bit, reinvention is possible. So clean up, use this time to clean up, and I'm sure all of you are doing it, and also at the same time, catch up. So here's the question. How many of you have physically cleaned up your spaces, office, home, during this pandemic period? I'm just curious, is it just me or is it a lot of people?
So let's find out. Thank you, Coach Vishnu, everyone. If you have, okay, so Swafi cleaned up myself. Chona, me. So it's Swafi and Chona, they have cleaned up their spaces.
And Michelle has raised her hand.
And Teresa says, yes, she did clean her closet and email. Venerable cleaned up my office. Rowena cleaned up my office and my house office.
That's interesting, right, Teresa? You cleaned up your email. And that gives you, when you clean up your emails, I don't know, sir, how will you experience this? When you have no emails that need to be replied in your checkbox, you feel very calm and relaxed.
I agree, sir. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, just put it in the spam box and then delete them all at once. So Mariana cleaned up my home.
Excellent. So a lot of you have done it. So that's great. And it gives you that, it's just, when you take down the clutter, when you organize your things, when you clean up and create more space, it creates that mental space and also physical space, which then translates to time, which then you can use that time to reinvent your people. Okay? Fourth one, this is my favorite, contribute. One of the best ways of reinventing your people is contributing to their progress. And I use the word specifically progress because I believe progress comes before success. Success might take some time. Depends on what you're working. Success might take 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. But you can notice progress as early as 3 days from now, a week from now, 2 weeks from now. You can already feel it, taste the progress. So if you can contribute by bringing value to your people, by bringing value to your people, and if you can do that so that they can make progress, so that they are on their path towards their success, we have successfully reinvented our people. We have done a range of things with my businesses and the business partners that I coach and I mentor. And I will share some of the ideas that we have worked on. So when the first pandemic hit, it was on, if I'm not mistaken, Malaysia was 17th of March. Philippines was, I think, 15th of March, around that time. And we shut down our offices and stuff. The first thing I launched in a week's time, this was by end of the first week of COVID-19, we launched a business education program. We roughly knew, as China was battling at that time, we knew that this is going to be for more than a month. Instead of again, going back to Stockdale paradox, instead of like, don't worry guys, it's just going to be a week, we'll come back after 1 week. No, don't worry guys, it's only for 2 weeks, we'll come back after that, no need to panic. No, don't worry guys, it's going to be a month only, after that will be everything back to normal. Instead of having that mentality, this is here, we got to deal with this. We can't do anything in terms of finding a medicine or vaccine or anything. What can we do? We can bring value to our people. So we launched business education program straight away internally for all the 25 offices, for over 500 people in our organization between Malaysia, India, Philippines. We launched a series called Star Series, where we have selected successful people within the organization to give talks, to bring value to our people. Zoe is one of our hugely successful Filipino branch manager. She runs her business in Davao. She's originally from Davao. She runs her business in Makati, and she was bringing value about recruitment. How do you maximize personal recruitment while you're at home? And it was a great opportunity to upskill our people. Our chairman, Mr. James Greaves, he has 27 years experience in the business, and we brought him as a guest speaker to talk about the key components of the business opportunity meeting and how do you run that meeting to your people. So this is one way of us bringing value to our people. We launched a book series in April. So that was for a month. We launched a book series. We selected within the community, we selected 16 people to read one book each. Very simple. And each one is given 1 week time. Okay? Once they finish the book, they have their slot for the call. They have a date for their call. They will prepare the top 10 points from the book. They prepare slides, and they will invite all the people. So we used to invite everyone in our organization to jump onto a Zoom call where then they talk about what did they learn, and they share those top 10 takeaways from that book. So within a month, we had people read 16 books. I never read 16 books in a year. So now all like 500 people jumping onto this call. So we had to upgrade the Zoom account to bigger and bigger because more and more people wanted to learn. And this is working as a community, and each one started bringing value to each other. So we finished 16 books in a month, and that was fantastic. In 1 month, we did 812 calls. We brought 90 speakers. We had 812 calls from 8 countries. This was global education. We brought people, all my contacts, whoever I have helped or whoever I have contacts with, I have invited them to come and do a conversation, have a conversation, bring value to my people. Are you bringing value to your people? That's the question. Because when the value builds and people start taking that advice from you, they start making progress. And once they start making progress, then you take it to the next level and see them progressing and succeeding. And when they succeed, you as their leader succeed. So the question is, what are you doing to bring value to your people? So I just want to see this in the chat box. How are you bringing value to your people on your team?
I'm sure, Coach Vishnu, nobody can top that, which you have already shared, but let's nevertheless hear it from our participants.
Yeah.
In fact, I was mesmerized by the real life stories that you have shared with us. And I think it's doable for every organization here in the Philippines.
It is. It is. And look at what Ariva is doing. Yes. Ariva is doing all this times 100, right? They're bringing great value to the community. And that's why people are coming on and they are learning from all this and they are succeeding. You know, I can just imagine the emails Ariva is getting from people.
In fact, we have hundreds and thousands of total views already. In fact, almost 1 million, if not 1 million. So Claudine says, recognizing their strengths and embracing their weaknesses.
Excellent. That's great, Claudine. You're doing a fantastic job recognizing the strengths and embracing their weaknesses. That's what we need, right? At this time, during crisis, we want to remind people what they are good at, not shoot them down for what they are not doing and what they are not good at. Excellent, Claudine. Great job.
By the way, Sir MJ Tola has joined our live webinar. And in fact, he mentioned a while back the ripple effect. He said good morning. And he was cleaning now after being inspired to do spring cleaning. And thank you, Sir Vishnu, for that. Sir MJ Tola extends his gratitude.
Excellent.
And Sir
Thank you very
also
much.
said that Ariva tops here in the Philippines, and to all who subscribed via Ariva Academy social media accounts. Yes.
Excellent.
Coach, can I read some more?
Sure.
Patricia says we're preparing to start a series free webinars for music teachers from September onwards.
Excellent, Patricia. That's really, really good. You know, I can imagine that a lot of people will be coming on. But here's the thing, Patricia. You might start with a small audience, but keep doing it. And over a period of time, the audience will grow.
Venerable says, provide seminars and workshops to my staff for the advancement of knowledge related to their duties at work.
Excellent. Fantastic. Great job. Providing seminars and workshops. And again, that's a great point, right, Sir Howell? Like, I'm Vishnu, I'm not like you, I'm not like Patricia, I'm not like Sir Howell. I don't know how to do all these things. That's not my strength. But hey, guess what? I'm sending my people to seminars online. I'm giving the links for some great workshops for my team so that they can upskill. So instead of trying to be like, oh, that's not my strength, don't worry about it. Acknowledging that's my weakness, but there is lots of resources out there that I can bring for my people, and I can be that medium where my people can learn a lot through these external resources. Great job, Venerable. Great.
And Mariana, giving them trainings to further improve their skills, even during this pandemic. And Estrella says, share the webinar links to my team and colleagues. I think that's very smart.
Excellent. That's just being very, very smart. Great job, guys. I'm very, very proud of what you guys are doing, and constantly think about what else we can do. How do we upskill? How do we upgrade? How do we bring value to our people so that they can make progress, they can reinvent themselves, and they're on their path to become successful. Okay. The last one is connect. This is again my favorite. What happens, or one of the challenges that happens during crisis like this, is we lose that connection with our people because most of our people are stranded in their own provinces. We have restrictions of movement, control, travel, etc., etc. So we lose a bit of connection with our people. Yes, there is online connection, but how do we? So let's. The goal is to improve that connection, so that we can strengthen our relationships with our people. I want to remind this. I learned this when I was building my first team, and my mentor shared this with me, and he said, Vishnu, relationships are not built inside the office. Relationships are built outside the office. So when you're building relationship with your team, it's over beer, it's over dinner, it's over breakfast, it's over lunch. It's never sitting in your cabin or sitting in the conference room. You don't build relationships. And one of the challenges that we have now is we are struggling to reconnect with our team members because of the restrictions that we have. So I'll share a quick example of what we have been doing. There are two examples I want to share, and I want to invite you guys to share how you are connecting with your team during this crisis when the movement is limited before this and now totally disconnected. So one is we started doing Zoom team nights. So on a Friday night at 9 p.m. with some of my selected team members, we all get on a Zoom call. We all have a beer or a Coke, and then we are having a drink virtually as if we are in a bar. And we're just having a conversation, nothing to do about work. We send the agenda of our Zoom team night. The agenda is not to talk about work. That's the agenda. So that's one way of doing it. Malaysia, we're a bit lucky because we can travel and the restrictions are not so strict. So this is something that I have done for my team. So I have selected my top 20 team members, and me and Ram, who's our business development manager, and San, who's our head recruiter and administrator. So we all, and Ken, who's one of my business partners, we all came to my house. We cooked rice and we cooked chicken curry, and then we bought cake, and we started packing the food, and we went around to our 20, I think it was 25 people's. We started it like 11 a.m. and we went all the way. What was lunch, by the time we were finishing the delivery, was dinner. And we drove ourselves because we did not have enough delivery at that time because of this. So we took the travel pass for one day and we went to all these 25 people and we passed it to them. And we did not sit down and talk much. It's like, hey, this is for you. Thank you. And haven't seen you for a very long time. Hope you are safe. Your family is safe. Okay, great. Hopefully see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Then the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. So I want to know, how are you guys virtually connecting with your teams? Put it up in the chat group, please. I want to know, and I want to get some ideas from you guys.
I mean, kudos to you, Sir Vishnu, for that extra effort of driving to, delivering them personally. I mean, being a CEO, that's an example of what servant leadership is all about.
Thank you. Thank you.
Salute to that. I mean, You have done a great job, Coach Vishnu. By the way, Sharon mentioned, maybe this is related to the question you asked a while back. They're having virtual flag ceremony every Monday morning, and managers report updates of their departments, and managers report to their employees. So I think it was an answer to the previous question, because now you're saying that relationships are developed outside of office or office time.
And what Sharon is doing is really smart. That's a great idea. Sharon, I'm going to copy your idea. Virtual flag ceremony. Because you might be on Sharon's team and you might be doing well, or you might be on Sharon's team, you might not be doing well. You might be on Sharon's team, you're doing okay. But the flag unites all of us.
That's right.
Very smart. Very smart, Sharon. So I'm going to just write it down and copy it.
We love that, Ma'am Sharon. And now for everyone, how do you build your relationship and connect genuinely with your people? Please type in your answer at the comment section of the FB Live and the chat box here in our Zoom room. Enriching your relationships with your people.
Because it's the key.
The general manager, the chairman of the board, cooking special chicken curry all by yourself. You doing it yourself with your team. I love it so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Grace says, Zoom mustahan. So, Zoom and kumustahan, which means asking each other, how are you doing now? Teresa Villegas, inuman, which is e-drinking session. Venerable, my company provides virtual coffee talks. So they're having coffee virtually with their favorite cups, maybe. Charles, we do monthly team building online. Wow. Playing games and activities. And Rowena says every month, send them money. 300 pesos each to buy snacks during the monthly meeting.
Excellent. I like this inuman.
Inuman.
I'm going to copy this idea for my Filipino team members.
I first heard it from Coach Roche. Or Roche. Coach Roche.
Nice. Excellent. Teresa, thank you.
Madam Irish Malonda, random highs and hellos, and how are you?
Okay, great. So again, like all the sessions that you guys are doing, absolutely fantastic. Just be creative, more innovative, squash the excuses, and strengthen the relationships. Because when your relationship is strong with your team, it really becomes that bridge where you can cross over to help your team members, help them to reinvent themselves and lead them towards the success that they're aspiring to have working with you. Okay. This is, again, going back to the Stockdale paradox. Life is unfair, and sometimes to our advantage, sometimes to our disadvantage. This pandemic has been a disadvantage to a lot of us, but whether you like it or not, has been advantageous for few, at least I would say. The guy who started Zoom, he is probably the biggest winner of this pandemic. But it is what it is. Life is unfair, sometimes to our advantage, sometimes to our disadvantage. We will all experience disappointments and crushing events somewhere along the way. Setbacks for which there is no reason, no one to blame. I was talking to one of my team members. He was very, very, very close to his promotion. And this pandemic happened. He lost his team. And it's very hard to give a reason why he's not getting promoted. He cannot blame anyone. It's not like because of him, COVID happened. It's not like he did something to his team. It's totally out of his control. It's a big setback for him. But what separates people is not the presence or absence of difficulty, but how we deal with the inevitable difficulties of life. Whether there is COVID-19 or whether there is no COVID-19, one thing that I know, and I'm sure Sir Howell agrees with this, is life is full of difficulties. It's us trying to navigate and trying to find these solutions and being stronger from one difficulty to the next difficulty. As you retain faith that you will prevail in the end and must confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, proved powerful for coming back from difficulties and not weakened but stronger. One thing I'm very confident for all of us who are going through this pandemic, that when we come outside, when we come onto the other side, I don't know when that's going to be, when we come on the other side of this pandemic, we will be stronger than ever before. We will be more powerful than ever before. And the end of the story is going to be, we will be so strong, we'll be so powerful, we will be sharing our lessons to generations that are coming, moving forward. So that's how we're going to see the end of this story. So keep having that faith in you and keep that faith in your team. We are coming to an end. Today we spoke about the Stockdale paradox. We spoke about the 5 C's for leading in a crisis. We'll take a break. We'll have our questions. If you want to reach out to me directly, ask me a question. If you could not get a chance today, those are my social media handles. And I would like to say a big thank you to all the participants and a huge thank you to Sir Howell and also to Ariva Academy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Coach Vishnu Annapareddy. Put your hands together. Wow. You know what, I felt like I attended a spiritual retreat or a church worship, a church service. Because not only did you inform us of the ways to rescue our people and help reinvent themselves, you have also inspired us to believe that and have faith and believe that yes, the end will be fine and that we have to brutally deal with the brutal facts. So we don't need to be just optimistic. Well, optimism is out of the window. We need to be realistic and we have to have faith. With that, thank you so much, Coach Vishnu.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So to give Coach Vishnu some time to maybe fix himself a cup of tea and for you to go to your bathrooms and comfort rooms and powder rooms, we'll be pausing for a 2-minute break or 3-minute break for our Q&A portion. Don't you go away. We will be right back. We promise.
Every coffee needs a lotus.
welcome back to our webinar, the part 2 webinar with Coach Vishnu Annapareddy. If we have learned how to rescue ourselves and rebuild ourselves as human beings during the part 1, part 2 is about reinventing your people. Rescuing your people by offering them a lot of ways to be resilient, to be strong, and to believe in a better ending or future. So before that, Coach Vishnu, I'd like to read these wonderful messages by Kuya Earl Flores, another insightful and productive session. Thank you, Sir Vishnu, and to our Ariva team. And Ms. Lizzie Sacurong Flores, thank you, Ariva Academy, Ariva Events, the rest of Ariva team, Sir Howell, and Coach Vishnu Annapareddy.
Thank you.
Coach, we also have, as you read the thank yous and the gratitude messages here at the Zoom webinar chat box, let me just read our participants.
Sure.
I mean, the places where they're from: Baguio, Batangas, Cavite, Cebu, Davao, Quezon Province, and Laguna. So thank you for joining us today. For the Q&A portion, Sir Vishnu still has around 15 minutes.
Sure.
To answer your Zoom questions. We'd encourage you, yes, to type in your question at the Q&A box. Better yet, raise your hand by clicking the raise hand button and do the Zoom live question. And for our Facebook and YouTube viewers, type in your questions on the comment box. So welcome back, Sir Vishnu.
Great. Looking forward for the questions.
And we're looking forward to the questions. We have present questions.
Okay.
Again, thank you for taking us to church or to the temple of worship. Thank you for connecting us spiritually to our Creator and understanding that beyond what we can do is God's intervention or the Creator or Allah's intervention. And we have to have faith. Sir, from Princedale, possible alternatives since the travel business is down. I think you have answered this before. Sharon, what are the new normal trends in service hotel industry? So how do they save their colleagues and their people?
Okay, so there are. It's tough, right? Because travel industry and the hotel industry go hand in hand, and they probably would be, along with the airlines, would be the top 3 industries who have been hit very, very, very hard.
That's right.
So this is something I have done personally for my staff, who I have no choice but to retrench them. One is we have paid the due full lawful way of paying them when we are relieving them of their duties. That's number 1. Number 2, we have explained to them why we had to take this decision, and we have been completely open and transparent from a financial position. So we have to be very clear with the specifics of it, which they help them to understand a bit more. Third one is we gave them a really good letter of recommendation from the company. So we said to them that not only you can put us, obviously, the HR for the reference, but also we gave them, for the years that they have worked with, their strengths, personalized letter of recommendation signed by general manager, signed by me and the HR, and we gave them a hard copy and a soft copy, which might help them in future when they're looking for jobs and things like that. So for hotel, like, try to provide them the alternative venues where they can find jobs. Grab, in Malaysia would be Lala Move, in Philippines also Lala Move, finding out the alternative places for them to work, because you can't. If you have friends who are hiring, definitely recommend these people to work with your friends and put you in a word of mouth on behalf of your team that you're retrenching and things like that. But it's tough, and we got to face the facts, and you do whatever is in your control to help them out. Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Vishnu, for confronting the brutal facts with kindness and empathy.
Yes.
I'm now looking at our Q&A box, and Michelle Roque says, "You are admirable, Coach Vishnu."
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
And Teresa Villegas is sharing with us, "We feel guilty when salespeople started handing over their resignations recently. We feel that we are not able to sustain their motivation and resilience." Is the guilt feeling normal?
Yes, it is. It is normal, Teresa. The guilt feeling is normal, and also it's real. Yeah. If your salespeople are handing resignations, one of the things I would like to suggest you is if you may find out why they are handing their resignations. Is it because from the management of the company, they have not adjusted the targets according to the pandemic? Or is there any other reason that they are moving on? And I don't think so. It's motivation or resilience. I think there might be some practical challenges or sometimes misunderstandings. You're thinking a way of helping them, but that message has not reached them. So they feel that, the management doesn't understand where they're coming from. So yes, letting people go is, you'll always feel guilty. You'll overcome it once you understand that it is a fact and you need to deal with it as a leader of that organization. But the people who have left, it doesn't hurt to give them a call and find out, hey, how are you? How's everything? You have not been with us for a month. I hope you and your family are good. I have a quick question. Can I ask you, what was the trigger for you to hand over your resignation? And never take the surface answer. You should have further questions to probe, to go to the source of the problem, not just the problem, to go to the source of the problem. And you might, unearth some of those misunderstandings. But yeah, some people say, Vish, how about we send them a survey, exit survey, etc. Now we have time. Let's give them a call. That's what my answer would be.
That's a great answer, Coach Vishnu. I know it's already 11:27, but can you still take another question, sir?
Sure, yes.
So from Raymond De Vera, it's in the Zoom webinar chat box. How do you implement these great tips when these are not among the values of the organization? That's a challenge, I must say.
One thing I have learned, sorry, who asked this question, Howell?
It says from Raymond De Vera. It's not
De Vera.
Values.
Sorry, what's the first name? I missed the first name.
Raymond, sir. Raymond.
Okay. So Raymond, if these are not the values of the organization, you can do a couple of things. I don't know how else to say this, but one is actually one answer. If these are not the values of the organization, talk to the management, especially the senior management, and express what you have expressed here, that these are some of the things that I would like to do so that we can prevent some of these things and we can future-proof our team. Moving forward, we can be stronger. These are some of the changes I suggest. No, you cannot do all those things, etc., etc. And then obviously it proves your point, right? You're thinking they're not in line with the values. It proves your point because you personally clarified it yourself. That's a short-term place for you to work yourself. Yeah. What you might find otherwise is this is what you think are not the values of the organization. Again, Raymond, flip the coin, 50-50, right? The other 50% is you verified it. Yes, they're not the values. Okay, I'm not asking you to resign because these are tough times, but realize that it's a short-term workplace for you. The other side is you might have realized these are not the values of the organization previously, but this pandemic maybe brought some change in the senior management, maybe brought some realization in the senior management, maybe brought some, they had their own experiences which drove the change in the senior management. And when you talk to them about it, you might be surprised. They might be open to your suggestions. And yeah, so at least you're giving a benefit of doubt. But either way, go and have an honest conversation with the senior management. And then you make a decision.
I like it. Because the worst thing that can happen is that the senior management will just say no.
Yes.
And yet, on their level, they can still do something about it and exercise the 5 C's for leading their team.
Correct.
So thank you so much, Coach Vishnu. And everybody, put your hands together for Coach Vishnu.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
We've learned so much from you. I love particularly the stories you've shared. And everything was heartfelt. But if there's one thing you'd like us to think about before we go to sleep tonight, what would that be, sir?
I would like to share my screen and put this up here. Hang on.
Yes, sir.
So this is something that I have recently designed and I put it up. I wrote an article about this in Medium. Don't let the little things divide you when your agreement on the big things should blind you.
Wow. Can we just take a picture? I'd like to take a picture of this slide.
Sure.
Everybody, take out your phones, and this is, 1,000, or if not 1,000, more than 1,000-year-old wisdom. I like it.
So yes, some of you are retrenched. Some of you had to take salary cuts. Some of you have arguments with your own team or with your supervisors, with your managers. But always remember, don't let the small things, don't let the little things divide you, detour you, or distract you, because you have agreed on the big things, and those big things should blind you. The big things can be building a successful career. Big things can be some of your personal goals, looking after your family members, buying a house, getting advanced. Big things can be, helping the company to achieve this goal. So blind yourself with the big things and keep reminding your team the big things so that the little things don't divide you and your team. Okay? Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Howell. Thank you, sir.
Coach Vishnu Annapareddy, put your hands together for Coach Vishnu.
So, Sir Howell, next Tuesday, we have, I think it's on 18th of August, next Tuesday, we are talking about reinventing your business, the third and the final part series for reinventing your business.
Wow, we started with the self and then now with your people. And on the part 3, it's reinventing their businesses and organizations. So thank you, Sir Vishnu. See you next week.
See you next week.
And keep inspiring others.
Thank you. Same to you, sir. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, all the participants. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And thank you so much, Coach Vishnu. Everybody, once again, put your hands together for Coach Vishnu Annapareddy. And let's usher back our dear president, Ms. Irish Malonda Samson.
Hello again.
Hello, Madam President.
Yes, that was indeed an inspiring, wonderful, informative session from, of course, Coach Vishnu Annapareddy. In behalf of Ariva Academy, thank you so much, Coach. And we will be seeing you on next Tuesday, August 18, for the third part. Right, Sir Howell?
That's the third and last installment of this great series of rescuing and rebuilding and reinventing the self, the people, and the organization. I love it so much.
You're definitely correct. So let's ask our participants what are their takeaways. Can you share this? Can you share it with us? Please type it in the chat box now. And while they're typing their takeaways, Sir Howell, you can share yours.
My favorite is the brutal facts. I mean, I love everything that Coach Vishnu has shared. The stories, the factual evidences, the practical tips, but more importantly, the brutal facts. Why? Because what's glaring was that we all thought that optimistic people would be the people who would be surviving this pandemic, but they could die of heartbreak. So instead of being optimistic, be realistic, confront the brutal facts, and never stop believing that the end will be bright and better for all of us. I thank Coach Vishnu for that.
Okay,
what about you?
For me, of course, it's the 5 C's of leading in a crisis, especially connect with your people, of course, and build relationships. And of course, the last quote that we had from Coach Vishnu, don't let the little things divide you when your agreement on the big things should blind you.
I like that because it reminds us of the government. When people are nitpicking and trying to fight over little things, we forget that the main goal is to overcome the COVID-19 virus. And let's let the future blind us. Let the future that's so bright blind us and inspire us to go for it.
And I will now read our takeaways from our participants. Miss Claudine said, relationships builds outside office premises.
I agree.
And Patricia, we have always something to share even during difficult times. I agree. Yeah, the heart will always lead the hand what to do.
Wow, that's a beautiful quote. The heart will always lead the hand what to do.
Sir Howell.
Yeah, Ma'am Teresa Villegas mentions relationships with your people are built outside the office.
Correct. And with that, of course, thank you for joining us this morning. And we hope to see you again next Tuesday for the part 3 of our business rescue project. And of course, in behalf of Ariva Academy, I would like to thank you as well, Sir Howell, for moderating our session today. Though we will be having our virtual e-learning session later this afternoon. Would you like to invite them?
You know, it's always a pleasure to do this, Madam President. And I am also excited to invite you this afternoon, 3 p.m. And shall we be flashing the slides now? Masterclass 3.0. If you are preparing yourself to be a manager, this is the course for you. How to take on greater responsibility. Will give you step-up skills. And you, as non-managers, will be competent enough to be promoted as, or to perform at least the role of being managers within your team. So that's this afternoon. And I would like to invite you all, and I would like to say, please register, and you will never regret it. Thank you, Ms. Irish.
Thank you, Sir Howell. I'll be seeing you in a while. Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. And of course, we would like, again, we would like to invite you later this afternoon, 3 to 5:30 in the afternoon, how to take on greater responsibilities, step-up skills for non-managers. And of course, this will be conducted by none other than Mr. Howell V. Mabalot. Thank you so much. And of course, we would like to thank our following win-win partners. Ariva Academy would like to thank our official media partner, Art Plus Magazine, digital media partners, Focus Media, Globaltronics, City Advertising Ventures, Outcome, Elevate Media. For win-win partners, thank you to Brother, Faber-Castell, Gluta-C, Moringa O2, KFC, Mr. Donut, Tokyo, Lotus Biscoff, Boss Job, Sir Technology Inc., Finma Properties, Salary Jet, Ilawi Korea, Kidolson and Carpo Consulting, Enchanted Kingdom, Disperse, Cosmetech Philippines Inc., Mindchom's virtual preschool program. To register your toddlers, please call them at 0906-486-0710 or email them at lisacanabe@mindchoms.org. Essential Safety Products PH, for your personal protective equipment for your health and safety compliance requirements, please email them at essentialsafetyph@gmail.com. And if you want to place your ads here, advertise your company, your services, and your logo, have a brand exposure to thousands of viewers through FB, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Zoom, please email us at marketing@ariva.com.ph. Stay on top of our insights and updates. Please stay connected. Visit us on our social media pages. Please join the Ariva Academy Facebook group, like the Ariva Academy Facebook fan page, follow the Ariva Academy LinkedIn page, and visit us on our website. It's www.ariva.com.ph. And if you missed watching our session this morning and the previous e-learning sessions that we had, the part 1, part 2 this morning, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. Again, it's Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. And for our upcoming online learning sessions, we would like to invite you, of course, this afternoon, how to take on greater responsibility, step up skills for non-managers, and this will be conducted by Mr. Howard V. Mabalot. Effective technical writing and communication skills for performance excellence. This will be tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow, part 1 will be in the morning, 10 to 12:30, and part 2 will be in the afternoon, 3 to 5:30, and we will be having Ms. Rory Sugay to discuss the session. Of course, this will be on Thursday, August 13, 12 employee welfare and fringe benefits. We have invited spokespersons from DOLE, SSS, Pag-ibig, and PhilHealth to share with us our benefits, our assistance during this COVID pandemic. Cost-effective purchasing, sourcing, procurement management, and the new business normal. This will be on Friday, August 14. The intersection of human resource and accounting departments. This will be on Friday as well, August 14, and we will be having Mr. Orly Tugub to discuss the session. Strategies to lead, motivate, and inspire action in a team. This will be a virtual masterclass. This will be on Tuesday, August 18, and will be conducted by Ms. Roch Villo. Remote work policy and procedure, how to make an effective telecommuting remote and flexible work policy. This will be on Wednesday, August 19, and we will be having Mr. Ronaldo Turla. Protect your business finances, strategic value, financial negotiations, and creditors, channel partners, and third-party agencies. This will be on Thursday, August 20. Again, Thursday, August 20. Managing psychosocial strains during crisis. This will be on Thursday, August 20. And we will be having Coach Suzette Shapno to discuss the session. And of course, Ariva Academy would like to invite you. I would like to invite you. Please do save the dates. This will be on October 26 to 30. This is a 5-day virtual journey. The Asia's highly anticipated HR learning event, Asia HRD Summit, and the Philippine HR Congress 2020 Transcendence, Converging People, Science, and Technology. For further details and how to register, please email us at successseminars@ariva.com.ph. And if you want to customize an e-learning session exclusive for your team, for your company, invite our Ariva partner speakers, invite Mr. Howell Mabalot, invite Coach Vishnu Annapareddy. Please do call me at 0916-695-4418. Again, it's 0916-695-4418, or email me at irish.arivaacademy@gmail.com. That's it. Thank you so much. Hope that you learned a lot. You were inspired by Coach Vishnu Annapareddy. Thank you so much. Again, this is Irish Malonda Samson. In Ariva, it's all about being better, be safe, and healthy. We would like to invite you again this afternoon how to take on greater responsibility, step up skills for non-managers. Thank you so much, and have